Opportunities will come and go, but if you do nothing about them, so will you. Richie Norton. So in this video, pretty much, I want to kind of talk about the struggles of figuring yourself out, going to school. Take off these glasses. Just kind of the stresses of going to school, figuring out what you want to do, figuring out how your life is gonna kind of work out. And it's a struggle. So I am currently doing my master's. I go to Tyndale. Tyndale, for those of you who don't know, is a seminary school. And I'm doing my master's in clinical counseling, psychotherapy, around that field. My end goal is to one day open my own center. I do want to work in the schools, and maybe I might do like another video about that whole career process. But I kind of just wanted to talk to you guys about just kind of tips and tricks, making your way through college and university. And because this is the time where a lot of people are applying to go to university, applying to go to college, and I just kind of want to give you guys a little heads up, because I didn't have the one to give me no heads up. I kind of found things out as I went along. Guidance counselors and teachers in college, in high school, I personally didn't find helpful. They gave me very generic and general answers, and obviously that's great, but specifically, unless you've experienced it, it's kind of hard for them to give you like really detailed information. So I don't want this video to be very long, but as I said before, I would just give you the very basics. And if you maybe in the future, I might do a more detailed video on my personal journey going through university, going through college, and now do my master's. So let's get into it. Don't do what you think everyone else wants you to do. I think one of my biggest mistakes that I made is not, I knew what I wanted to do, and I did my research. I knew the schools that provided that program. But in terms of what the job itself entails, that I didn't do. So, number one, my encouragement to you would be, if you can, if it's possible, do some type of volunteer work within the field that you want to. It might not be possible, obviously, because of lack of experience and lack of education in that field, to actually do that particular job. But as close as you can get to that environment that you are hoping to work in, I think is really good. The problem with college, university, more or less college, is you do placements or internships, most placements, or co-op. You do that after you've completed maybe 2 years or a year of a program. And a lot of people at that point usually drop out a program, because once you start doing the placement, you realize, hey, this is not what I want to do. Right? So I would encourage you to kind of do that beforehand if it's possible. Yeah, so if you want to be a nurse, try and volunteer at a hospital. If you want to be a teacher, try volunteering your time either after school or however it fits your schedule to volunteer within a school. Try your best to get as close to the environment that you want your career to be in as possible. I didn't do that. I kind of did that, as I said before, I did that when I did my placement. And when I did my placement, I realized, okay, I don't really like this, right? And that's when you kind of figure out, mind you, placements aren't the best. As I said before, like, it's not a fixed situation, because placements are also very tricky, because you're inexperienced, because you lack education. Sometimes they're not going to allow you to really engage and do the things that you really want to do. But on the same hand, you get some insight to what that job would entail, and it opens the doors to some aspects, right? You know, you get your resume fixed up, you get someone to look over it, you apply, and you go in and you say, you know what, I'm just starting out university, college. I kind of want to get a field of what this profession would entail. Would you mind? Most people don't mind because it's free labor and most people can use the extra hands. But I definitely found that to be useful. I found it would have been useful beforehand. Point number 2. Don't feel like you're in a rush to go to college, university. I wish I had taken maybe a semester and kind of just thought about what I wanted to do, had a plan. I did have a plan, but as I said, I should have volunteered beforehand. It would have saved me a year of going to school in a program that I ended up not being in. And actually, university and college is not for everyone. In our society, it seems like, you have to, but it's not. There are trade works, there are certificate programs, there are different things. Like, that's tip number 2, don't feel rushed or feel like you have to be forced in a program, because that's not how it goes. That's not how it is. You don't have to do that. You don't have to, that's not the way everybody goes. So don't feel like you have to be forced to go in that particular way. Everybody kind of situates themselves differently. This girl look at me like, why is she talking to herself? But yeah, don't feel forced. Don't feel that you have to go to college, university this minute. I'm just saying, for some people, college and university is not for everyone. And it might not be what you want to do at this point in time. Do you get what I'm saying? So kind of figure yourself out in that aspect. What are other tips I can give you? Tip number 3. Don't be in a rush to get student loans. Don't do it. Don't do it. It will come for you. Unless you absolutely have to. I didn't really understand. It depends. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on your life schedule. It depends if you have kids. It depends what your situation is. Now I'm working and I pay for school. And I find that to be more beneficial. Number 1, because I don't have a debt after the fact. Number 2, I feel that when you're paying for something, it puts that much more, you put that much more effort. Not that I didn't pay attention before, but like now that money's come out my pocket. And OSAP is not free money, so you are paying for it, but it's not immediate. And so sometimes because it's not immediate, we tend to not do our best. I don't know, like some people, I feel that they really don't do their best because it's OSAP. Oh, I can pay back later. So if you can avoid OSAP, and for those of you who don't know what OSAP is, it is loans that are given to you by the government, the Ontario government. If you do live in Canada and you're watching this, so if you can avoid loans, it is possible. Grants are available. Do your homework. A lot of schools, I found out through one of my professors or counselors in the admit office, that a lot of scholarships go unclaimed simply because students refuse to apply or don't know about it. So if you're planning to go to university and college, do your research and find out what bursaries or what scholarships or what your school provides, because a lot of schools provide, and for the most part, students just don't bother applying or don't know a lot of scholarships. Like now I do take the time to go on the website to look at, I do take the time to go on my school website and see what's available, what applies to me, the things that I can apply to. It sometimes it depends on your grade. If you're just entering the school, sometimes they have new entry bursaries, grants, scholarships, the whole works. So definitely do your research and find out if you can go to school for free. Why would you not go to school for free? Why would you not want to? So do your research. You know what I mean? Especially if you really enter school with high grades and you're really good and you're really, on the ball, definitely go ahead and look at what's available at your school. My last point, because I don't want this video to be long, as I said before, is more or less about grades. So I can do a whole video on this separately, but the last point, it really speaks to confidence and knowing who you are, and I've talked about that in my little chit chat video. But I find that especially when I started out, I saw marks as a reflection of me. So if I got a C on assignment, on a assignment, I was really hard on myself. I applied that to be that I was dumb somehow, or that, and that's not the case. Marks, you definitely should take your marks seriously because it is important. At the same time, don't feel that the lack of a mark somehow applies to your intelligence or your smarts, right? Because I've had it where I've given one teacher an assignment and I got a C, and then I had another teacher look at it and she said I would have given you a B. So marks are very subjective. There are a lot of things that come into play when teachers mark. Every teacher has their points that they focus on, and that determines a mark. So that little nitbit, I really feel I wish I knew that, or I wish I really just understood that marks, not that I knew that marks didn't make me, but it really, sometimes it can really get you down and depressed if you get a C, or if you get 2-3 C's. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard, but my marks don't make me. And if I really try my hardest and I get a C, guess what? I'm really proud of that C because I put in all my work and all my energy, and that's what I got. But marks are subjective. They are not a reflection of who you are. They're not a reflection of your intelligence. They're not a reflection of your abilities. It is a mark based on an assignment given to you, and based on the teacher's assignment, maybe, because a lot of times too, it's how we communicate. So I think personally, I'm a stronger communicator. I'm an oral communicator. I do very good at explaining my points orally. On written paper, I have to try 10 times harder because punctuation, you can't write the way you speak, right? When I can explain to you what I'm saying, you can't necessarily do that in the same way. You definitely don't be ashamed if you feel that you're struggling right now. I would say take advantage of the programs, and there are things that are available that you are paying for if you are going to college and university. Writing centers, buddy programs. There's a whole bunch of different things that different schools offer to help you. So utilize those things. I mean, you're paying for them, so might as well use them. So this is my little video. Hopefully it was helpful to somebody. Hopefully this video was helpful. Go ahead and leave your comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.